Hey, hello everybody. This is Coach Halley from the Coach's Box, and I'm here with the TGFF Game Day SEC Weekly Preview. This SEC Preview segment is brought to you by Pepsi. Whether you're gearing up for game day, hanging out with friends, or just need that perfect, refreshing break, nothing hits the spot quite like an ice-cold Pepsi. Bold, crisp, always refreshing. Pepsi is the taste that fuels the moment. So crack open a Pepsi and enjoy yourself some SEC football. I'm going to cover 3 games for you this week. We're going to talk about Ole Miss and Oklahoma, Texas A&M and LSU, and Mizzou and Vandy. 3 games that both match up ranked teams against each other. And they all look to be exciting in their own way and very different types of teams that from each week to week, and you never know which one's going to come. So much parity in the SEC. First off, we're going to talk number 8, Ole Miss at number 13, Oklahoma. This one's gearing up to be a really good game that's probably going to be ruined by really crappy weather. It's supposed to rain and be wet for that noon kickoff in Norman, Oklahoma. This at first I thought was going to be a game between 2 quarterbacks. It's going to be Mateer versus Chambliss, and which one can solve the defensive backfield of the other defense faster and then use their legs to get them into the game. But this game, with the weather that they're predicting, is going to turn into a trench warfare. You're going to see which running back and which running game from which team is going to take control and which offensive line and is going to be able to control which defensive line. And that will determine the game. As of right now, the over-under is set at 54.5. with Oklahoma being a 5.5-point favorite and climbing over the last few days. It's gone up a point at least in the last couple of days. I don't see them getting anywhere near this. This is going to be a low scoring. I think it's going to be under it. I think you're looking at like 24-21 or 27-21 Oklahoma. I just think that their run game, especially with Mateer's feet and him being 2 games back and being healthy from his injury, I just see Oklahoma at home in the weather with their run game and their quarterback. I see them being the one that gets the win here in this one. So I think you're going to see number 8 Ole Miss go down on the road. I think that would be their 2nd loss of the year, I believe. Probably should have confirmed that before I started this, but the Rebels just. It would be their 2nd loss. Both teams are sitting at 6-1. So I just see Oklahoma getting this win, especially in the weather. If the weather was any better, Oklahoma or Ole Miss would have a better shot. But in this weather, the run game from Oklahoma and the offensive line, which is much improved from last year for Oklahoma, I think wins this game at home. Our second game we're going to cover is another 2. It's going to be number 3 Texas A&M. The surprise Texas A&M this year. I don't think anybody saw them coming in at 7-0 at this point of the year. They're taking and going to LSU, number 20 ranked LSU, who have struggled, and Brian Kelly is on the hot seat. I like Brian Kelly. LSU was my pick to win the national championship at the beginning of the year, and I thought it was going to be, but the wheels have started to fall off this at this point. Garrett Nussmeier has not been the quarterback that I and we all thought he could be within this offense. But it just, something's missing with that LSU team this year. And I don't know what it is, but, and today's no different. I think this might be really close to the end of Brian Kelly's rope, in LSU, especially with an undefeated Texas A&M. I'm going to say going to Death Valley. It's a night game, a 6:30 kickoff at LSU, and it is really hard to win night games at LSU. But I think Texas A&M gets a 31-17 win over LSU in this one. I just don't see Garrett Nussmeier and that LSU offense being able to keep up with Marcel Reed in that Texas A&M offense. He's been really good. Marcel Reed has been over 1,800 yards passing, 15 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. It's just there, and their running back have 400 yards rushing. But this is about the pass game. This is about Marcel Reed, and this is about the LSU defense, who has struggled to handle quarterbacks that are mobile and can throw the ball a little bit. Let's look back to Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt from last week with LSU. Now, that shows A&M has not won at Tiger Stadium since like 1994. I think that ends this time. But this is Texas A&M has been really good, and I'm going back against my national championship pick from earlier in the year. This is going to be Texas A&M 31-17 over LSU. The wheels continue to just fall off the Tigers at this point. The real question will be, how long will it take them to realize that Brian Kelly's not the answer as head coach, and they move on to somebody else? And then who is that somebody else? But our last game I'm going to cover is the number 15 my Mizzou Tigers going to Nashville to take on the number 10 Vanderbilt Commodores. This one is game day worthy, especially since nobody saw this coming at the beginning of the year. If anybody at some point in the year had this game as the college game day game of the week, go buy more lottery tickets because you're just that lucky. So this is chalking up to be, it's a middle of the afternoon, 2:30 p.m. kickoff. This is going to figure out, this one's going to be decided by which quarterback shows up in the passing game. Both are mobile quarterbacks. Both have done their things. Diego Pavia has been slightly better at the pass game this year than Bo Perbula. But I wonder, Vanderbilt's pass defense is like ranked 92nd in the country. Mizzou's is, I think, in the 80s. So which quarterback can exploit the defensive backfield matchup better is the one that will win. Now, Mizzou's rushing game is statistically better than Vanderbilt's, but they have not shown up in full force the last few weeks. Is this the week that run game wakes back up for Mizzou? Is this the week where they figure out how to make that outside stretch work? Because teams have been scheming against it, and they've been and Eli Drinkwitz has been out-schemed the last few weeks, especially defensively versus his offense with that outside stretch. So we'll see what happens here. This one's kind of close to a toss-up. Vanderbilt's a 2.5-point favorite at home. But as a Mizzou fan, I have to say it, I cannot go against my Tigers on this one. I think they find a way to win games. They've gotten better. Eli has elevated this program to a team that finds wins. And it may not be pretty, but I think the defensive pressure up top of both the linebackers and the D-line of Mizzou, I think wins this one. And I say Mizzou gets this win 24-23. This in Nashville in front of College Game Day. I think that's just a lot of pressure for Vanderbilt coming off a big win over LSU that nobody really saw coming. But this one, I think, goes to the Missouri Tigers. Again, a lot of great games in the SEC and all over college football this week. So make sure you check out a lot of those games. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun